Welcome to Transfer Business and News with Ordained Crown Prince of Ghana and Poku-Hitzfield. It's another lovely Monday morning, 25th September 2023, our year of grace, our year of power, and our year of abundance as Africans. Good morning, and I miss you guys. Now, I've been offline since I told you guys I was going on a retreat because of Osagyefo's birthday, which was on the Thursday. And since I've left a lot of information behind, I came back realizing floods have killed so many Ghanaians. Floods have entered into places that the floods didn't even enter before. Now, when you look at Ghana, where it was in the 60s, and when you look at Ghana, where we are now, we need to have a honest conversation amongst ourselves. So, hashtag fix the country, hashtag occupy Julobi house. I am 100% behind the youth of Ghana. When we talk about the fact that the systems that have been implemented now only benefits one person, that is not you and I. So we as the youth of this country, we now know and we have educated ourselves not the way they wanted us to educate ourselves, and we know who we are. We are here as the god and goddesses of this earth. And we are here to change the fortunes of every Ghanaian, every African going forward. So welcome to Transfer Business and News. And the floods have destroyed properties in Accra. And then I look at the ant. Humans have evolved to the extent that we are now flying, right? We make aeroplanes and we fly. So if we are in 2023 as Ghanaians, so-called enlightened and educated people, and year in, year out, flood kills one of our children, then we need to have a honest conversation amongst ourselves as Ghanaians too. It is you and I, our actions of the past. That is the reason why we are in this mess. And we are in this mess together. What are the systems that we introduce into our societies that is making this? Those are the ones we need to plug out of our midst as Africans and as Ghanaians going forward. Now, I also saw pictures of or videos of the Vice President of Ghana, His Excellency Bawumia, his convoy getting stuck in the mud. Even the 4x4 is getting stuck in the mud. This is how you have left our country in tatters. This is the country of milk and honey. As a matter of fact, this is Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's land. His Ghana. Is this the Ghana he envisioned it to be? So I am back from my retreat, paying homage to the great man, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Africa's unity is upon us, and a day at a time, we work here and we work spiritually, because we know this is an illusion. But in order for the illusion to become the dream, you need to start creating inward. You need to start planting seeds of African unity. And that is what we've been doing in Pan-Africanism. Now we have 1.2 billion Pan-Africanists around the world as a black man. Maybe you are the last person becoming the Pan-Africanist. Maybe your head is so far as of religion that you don't even know that the man standing in front of you is a God in your likeness. Now, when you go to the Cape Coast Castle, you will see where our ancestors used to be in the trenches of sewages, and you will see where the church is. Self-identification. They tell you you can do all the sins, but as soon as you say that through the blood of Jesus, your sins have been wiped away, it is an absolute lie. Now, our ancestors used to say something in our Akan adage. They knew the energies of this world and knew that whatever you do here, because it is energy, it is going to reflect back to you. So the Ghana we have now is as a result of a collective consciousness. How were we thinking? How are we thinking now? And how should we change our way of thinking for the betterment of the Ghanaian and for the African? So in Pan-Africanism, we will change so many things. Now, I also saw a video of the tourism minister, I've forgotten his something Al-Hassan, talking about using funeral for tourism purposes. And I'm like, cleaning your environs won't give us tourism. Cleaning your waters, as a matter of fact, making laws, stopping the polluting of water won't make So you see what the collective consciousness has gotten us to. Now, we the youth of this country, and I'm talking to my brothers below the ages of 50, we are about to build an Africa that will be remembered in millions and millions of years to come. And you and I, that is the reason why we are here. If God will come next week and destroy this earth, let God come and see us building our country like what Dubai has become. Look at what Saudi Arabia is. With all due respect, Saudi Arabia is nowhere near the riches of Africa. And yet they have been able to convince us to see them holy when everything, before Abraham existed, we existed. Before there was any God anywhere in the world, the African used to be worshipped as a deity. So we have lost our ancestry so much that now we hate everything that makes us us. But then we are bringing the Pan-African system. Now this is an ancient system. That is what made Al-Kebulan the richest country in the world. Africa was never divided. Al-Kebulan was never divided. It is one country. And we are the children of Al-Kebulan. We are the children of the sun. That is why we can stand in the sun without running away. Because the sun, we share the neuromelanin with the sun. We share DNA with the plants. We share DNA with birds. We are the originators. We are the gods of this earth. So now that we know who we are basking in our power. We are basking in our grace. And we are basking in our abundance as Africans. So fix the country. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And I've been telling the youth of Ghana that the reason why the West and the United States think they can come to us in 2023 and tell us absolute crap is because of the fact that we give them that energy. We want to be friends with them. We are children of the Gold Coast. As a matter of fact, we will pick money on the floor in the form of gold, not papers. In Ghana, our least thing should be our gold. because we used to pick them in our backyards. How can you tell me you are the richest country in the world when you have the reserves and I have the mines? My worth in this life is not the number I have on the computer screen. My worth in this life as the ordained crown prince of Ghana is not the papers I have in my house called money. My worth in this life is the positive impact I leave on society, a lasting legacy for children to follow, a consciousness which is above all religion. That is the consciousness I want hundreds of years after I'm gone, children can tap into quantumly, astral project, and get there and move on from that consciousness into a better world for you and I as Ghanaians and as Africans. So Domahine recently, I saw him helping in the field, weeding the roadside, and I'm saluting my father this morning. Domahine, Papa, thank you. Thank you for doing what you are doing. You know, we need to change the narrative. And we, the kings and queens of Alkebulan, we need to start doing or putting the systems in place variously. And I want to meet the Domahine to explain the Pan-African system to him in a nutshell. I want to meet all the chiefs and paramount chiefs in Ghana and across Africa that we discuss the Pan-African system, which has been in existence way before the Caucasian race ever stepped foot in the caves in Europe. So we know who we are. And we are here making sure at the abundance it was meant to be, everybody experiences it. Large farms. We will make sure we feed ourselves so much. We will have enough for people outside Africa. Because if we have the most fertile lands in the world, why is it that we don't cultivate our own food? Now, our seeds are leaving Africa to the extent that now we have seeds that when you put in the soil, it doesn't germinate. My brothers and sisters, the GMOs, how can a food that can't reproduce itself, when it goes into your body, do you know what it's doing to your body? That is where your medicine starts. Start from what you consume. So our food security in a nutshell itself is something we need to check going forward in Pan-African system, and we've made measures and systems that will curb our food crisis and our food security across Africa. As the ordained crown prince of Ghana, when it comes to cleanliness, now we will do just, you see, this is just common sense, and I'll tell you, and you will see how, as a scientist, I see it as easy. Maybe people don't see it that way. Now, what we will do to make sure Ghana becomes, or Africa becomes clean in under 2 years, is make sure every household has at least 5 dustbins. Now, one of these dustbins will be for food and peels of vegetables only. One of these dustbins will be for plastic. One will be for broken bottles and ceramics and other things. Now, of course, we will use recycling and upcycling so many times. The one that contains the food, we will pick it daily, and we will mix it with the soil, black soil, loamy soil, to become manure for our farms. Now, this is better than putting chemicals in the land. So these are some of the things we'll be doing. And in under a year, Africa will need, now, of course, there's nothing like waste. As a scientist, I know there is nothing like waste. Energy is transmuted. Everything goes and comes back. What you think is sport is not necessarily sport. It can be used for something else. You haven't discovered it. So we will have more labs in Africa than churches. Oh yeah, I will make sure of that. And as the ordained crown prince of Ghana, we are going to make sure the Ghanaian will know who he is. You are a child of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and you are a child of Okomfo Anokye. Tap into their consciousness and the power and knowledge you will have. No human around the world can have it. That is why they surrounded Ghana with Francophone, or they made our neighbors speak French, because they know the Ghanaian. When you become conscious and tap into the power in Ghana, what you have is a pure consciousness, over 800,000, over 1 million years old. And then you know things without knowing. How did I never learned of this. That is why I tell you, join me in the fifth dimension. I have a video on YouTube. Go and watch it. Into the fifth dimension. Follow my guidelines and get into this Christ consciousness. That will make you and I know. We will build our continent, and we should take videos this time around. Thank God for technology, my brothers. We will take videos of us working, so that when we are dead and gone, nobody will come and tell them they did it. They will know who they are. They will respect that the melanin is the $1 trillion industry. Without a black race, where will other races be? Nature teaches me that black is dominant, white is recessive. And I know who I am, the ordained crown prince of Ghana. I said the god and goddesses of Africa are back, and we are taking our continent into a new light. Now, our God is God, the universe. Our gun is God, the universe, and nature, right? The power source, the universe, and nature. We know the cosmos more than any other race. We have combined numerology, astrology, quantum mechanics, so many things, so many fields that we've learned. Now I tap into this consciousness and I wake up knowing everything about the world, because I share DNA with the plants. You do too as an African. So we know who we are, and Africa's unity is upon us, my brothers. I love you guys so much. You and I, we are going to retire our fathers above the ages of 50. We will put them in non-active work. You see, we want them to be the grandpa of our children. You see, the grandpa they were meant to be, the grandma, so that we work hard. But of course, jury duties and PTA and other things, you see, our fathers who we've retired them can go to these things, and we know that our fathers know what is good for our children. So we were bringing the African family back. When they wanted to divide Africa, they started with our family system, our family structure. When they got there, they broke the black man. And consciously, we are changing that back. And the Pan-African system will implement things that will make families blossom. Families will blossom in Pan-African system. Because we know we are brothers. What Ghana is today is as a result of our collective actions. So today, as the ordained crown prince of Ghana, I take the first blame. Oh yes, because I have been here, right? Sometimes learning, not being able to speak about things, and it has happened. And you too, you need to take blame for part, because you've also been there. What did we do collectively as Ghanaians, as Africans? And that is the consciousness we are talking about. Tap into the power of the African spirit. The African spirit is the oldest spirit in the world. Before there was any god by the Hebrews and the Muslims, we used to exist. We are the gods of it. And when you know this and now you tackle this world with $1 trillion mindset, 100 years from now, you and I won't be here. So what positive impact did we do? Nobody will know how rich you even were. As a matter of fact, where are the riches of Mansa Musa? Are you telling me Mansa Musa never had children? And as a king, imagine the number of children he will have. You may be a great grandchild of Mansa Musa in the Americas somewhere. Tap into the power and know who you are. And that wealth will come to you overnight because it is your birthright. We find gold in our backyards, for crying out loud. Why do we need papers to determine our worth? So the Pan-African system will build Africa under 10 years. I swear we are going to make sure that the carpenter doesn't see himself important than the farmer. The farmer doesn't see himself important than the lawyer. As a matter of fact, we know that you need to be the carpenter and I need to be the ordained crown prince of Ghana to make the clock work as a united Africa. We are going to work on ours and make sure that we give clean energy to the universe. We will use solar to power the whole planet. You see, there is so much clean energy in Africa that Africa can power the whole planet and back. But then you see, because of greed, people would rather want things destroyed in Africa instead of making sure Mother Nature and the universe is blossoming. The only race on this earth, my brothers and sisters, is the human race. But unfortunately, we now know. Now, I've been watching the 78th UN General Assembly, and I was watching President Lazarus Chakwera of Malawi. This morning, I'm sending greetings to my father. I listened to him, and I love whatever he said. He said, as the ordained crown prince, I love what he said, and I just want him to know we are building Africa. We will retire them, but then we will go to them. Be the grandfathers, be the consultants we need, and let us do the work. We know who we are. We are tackling the development of Africa with $1 trillion mindset. And we will make sure nobody will be homeless on the streets of Africa. That is the system Muhammad Gaddafi used in making Libya what it was. So we are using that across Africa. And when I mean Africa, I mean Egypt and Morocco. This is our land. If anybody who is against African unity won't be on the African continent. I swear it. And I'm saying it again. Anybody who don't want to be part of the United Africa won't be on the African continent because this is our land. Because we know when we combine our forces, we are the greatest country in the world, richest country in the world. And with a median age of 19 years, my brothers, what we are about to build will be remembered for millions and millions of years to come. We will have abundance. We never had to be capitalists because we had everything in abundance. The white man brought the capitalism system because he needs to steal from you. And because he's your slave master, he will now bring you papers and tell you his paper is worth more than your paper. And will be taking things from your land in a raw state, not developing your economy, not industrializing your land. 500 years, over 500 years, have taught us that these people will never change. And we've learned from the past. That is why we are removing all the embassies of the countries that sat and divided Africa from Africa. After 2023, we are removing all their embassies. And we need apologies. Now we'll talk about reparations, but to me, reparations means differently. A white man or UK can't give me the reparations I want. Because to me, wealth is not the hair papers. You see, I don't give a rat. I want to swear this morning. I don't give a rat ass about the pound. I don't give the rat ass about the euro. What it is, it's a paper. What I know is the crude oil in my land, the minerals in my land. How can I use it for my own benefit to build my own electric cars going forward? So as a scientist, when I look at Africa in Pan-Africanism with a median age of 19 years, moving with a consciousness above all religion, one aim, Operation 2050. When we open our Kebulan to the world, we want them to be amazed. We want them to be marveled. We want the world seeing Africa after 2050 to clap for us. And none of our fathers in charge today, the Tinubus, the Kufuados, you can't stop this. No. No. You can't stop this revolution. You see, you can't stop this revolution because this is a revolution that is coming with nature. Anybody that will stand in his way will stand against the tide of nature. You can't win against nature. I keep saying it. Nature even can't win against nature. So I'm sending greetings to President Lazarus Chakwera of Malawi and President Mama Dumbuya of Guinea, man. He spoke with passion. He spoke as an African. And I know the consciousness is everywhere. We know who we are. I'm sending greetings to every freedom fighter watching me today. As the ordained Crown Prince of Ghana, I protect everybody in Africa spiritually. I said the power we have. Do you know there is a plant? Now, before Hippocrates lived, 2,200 years ago lived a man called Imhotep. So when we talk about the father of medicine, Hippocrates comes nowhere near. We share DNA with the plant, so we know which plant is used for what purposes. We know that plants that look like the kidney is good for the kidney. Come on. When we talk about medicine, what you eat in what you put in your mouth should be the medicine. And we have known this because we share DNA with plants. So everything your grandmother taught you, my brother, it is nowhere near. Learn. When you know everything is energy, now you learn about what they taught you and the scientific way to that. And you realize, wow, these people were just using different names for it. But it didn't mean they were doing something different. They were actually manipulating things because they knew everything is energy. They knew that when you want something, all you need to do is raise your vibrations and be hitting the frequency of that thing. And then when you know sadness, anger, and all these things reside in the low vibrations, you will know, oh, then I need to make sure as a human, I am always hitting the highest vibration to attract what I think here into this illusion. Is it easy? So when we look at African unity, we look at grace. When we look at African unity, we look at power. When we look at African unity, we look at abundance. And let me send greetings to Prime Minister Maya Motley of Barbados. I also liked her speech. You know, I love her. Much love to my mommy. Me, every old person is my mommy and my grandma. And because we are one people. We black people are the richest in the world. We are tackling building Africa with $1 trillion mindset. And that is how we are going to build it. The houses will be worth $1 trillion, but it will belong to you and I. Oh, yes. When we open Africa to the world, they will be amazed. They claim aliens built the pyramids. We are going to show them in real time. And this time around, we will record them again. And make sure you won't be able to come and destroy our history like you did with destroying Alexandria. Like you did by breaking the noses of the things so that the black man will know that he started civilization. We know who we are. And I'm listening to all the speeches from the presidents across the UN General Assembly. And of course, I can see the pompousness of the United States still thinking they are who they say they are. When the world sees them differently, We are about to close all your embassies in Africa, my brothers. It's because we want to be friends with them. That is why they think they have authority over the African now. When we remove our energies, they are going to fade. They don't belong on this earth. Just our energies. They will pass like how a typewriter is gone. They will become obsolete, and nature will clean them up. Do you know the power you have as a black man? This is an illusion. And you are a God, and you manipulate everything according to your will. Not what is written in the book. So it's been a pleasure having you. Rain is doing so much damage in Ghana. We are going to build canals. We are going to build new cities. In Pan-Africanism, move everybody from the current Accra to make sure we build canals in lowlands. Connect every drainage into these canals. Now, these canals can be used for transportation purposes. We can put boats on them, use it as tourism. Even an ant, when it rains, it doesn't kill them. And we, enlightened beings, we are here. And we are fighting amongst each other for absolute nonsense. When all we need to do as Ghanaians and Africans is uniting, because it is our mothers, you and I, our mothers were the ones that were raped, were the ones that they put a spear in their vajayjays and they open it and they laugh. These are the people we are basing our civilization on. Come on, my brothers. No. They don't, morally, they don't come nowhere near the African. So morals is you and I. What our grandmothers taught us is the best in the world. Now, when my grandmother was alive, I would play football and I would get hurt. And I will come home, and when she's massaging it, she'll be praying, and then when she's done, she will just hold her hand like this and go to the wall and just hit the wall 3 times. And I kept asking her, what does that mean? And I will be like, oh, African belief. Hey, African belief. And I'll be making fun of her, right? But now as a scientist, when I know what I know now, I see the science behind it. Because everything is energy. And my grandmother shares DNA with me and has more authority in the cosmos, power, than me. When she is massaging my leg, she is removing the pain. And she holds the energy of that pain and gives it to an inanimate object, which was the wall. So now that I know quantum mechanics and everything I know now, it makes sense. Then I began realizing whatever they were teaching us was the right thing. We are the originators of everything. Civilization began in Africa. And once again, what we are about to build, it will be written about for millions of years to come. Do you want to be a hero in the story of building an Africa that was written about? Or do you want to be the African that will rather go to a place and cry all the time, wishing God will come and destroy this beautiful earth and kill all the animals because a black man decided not to think? He would rather want God to destroy. Are you the only being on earth? Look into nature and see the number of number of animals, different species. Do you think God is that stupid? Because of you, a black man, you don't want to think and make systems for your own sake. Even an ant, they don't get drowned, but we are getting drowned by flood instead of building canals. We would rather build a cathedral again so that people will go there and go and cry to God than to build a canal. Make sure we distill these canals, connect all the rainwater into these canals, use these canals for transportation, for games, for everything you do on water. live in highlands and make sure every lowland, the canal will pass like that through Africa. Every lowland will be connected. Now we can have water. Where would the drought be? For water for irrigation. Easy. Let's look at the ant. Even the ant, my brothers. So, Pan-African system is here. I hope you are a Pan-Africanist. Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was a Pan-Africanist. Marcus Garvey was a Pan-Africanist. W.E.B. Du Bois is a Pan-Africanist. So if you are telling me today you are a politician, you deserve to be slapped. Yes? If you are an African and you want to call yourself a politician than a Pan-Africanist, you deserve to be slapped in Ghana, anywhere in Africa. Because you would rather take a name that will make you pro-Western than to fight for your own people. Have you forgotten what? Come on, my brothers. So fix the country. Fix the country. And as the ordained crown prince of Ghana, as I said, you and I, we need to change the way we see things. When we change, the youth, we change the way we see things, nobody can manipulate us. And that is how come we are learning that when we gained independence, what we should have done was sack every U.S. embassy in Africa. No, we didn't do that. And that is how come they were destabilizing us. Because if we leave them in Africa, when we are building, they will keep doing what they've done for 500 years plus. They will never change. They don't develop the pineal gland. They don't deserve to be on earth. So when we remove our energies from them, I said in just 77 years, the Eiffel Tower won't have a viewer. I'm saying it again. In just 77 years, if France and Macron don't stop what they are doing, and I'm saying this once again, I want to keep saying it so that when it happens, somebody will pick this video 50 years or 77 years after today and reference it to a prophecy. And I've been saying this because I've seen